This is Visitor's Book, and I'm Maija, your host. In this program, we're going to be meeting with diplomats and foreigners who live here in Pakistan, and we're going to find out what they really think about the country. So let's go. So today we're here in Bahria town, Islamabad, and we're here to meet with our guest, Katie Sipra, who is a scientific officer at a private university here. So let's go find her. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So nice to see you.
Yes, great to meet you.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So, how long have you been in Pakistan now?
For me, it's about 3 years and 4 months.
Okay, that's very specific.
Yeah. Got it down to the day.
Yeah. So, you basically came here because of someone, not something.
That is very true, yes. My husband is Pakistani.
Mm-hmm.
We met in college back in 2006.
Oh, wow.
So we were
Long time
together
ago.
for about 10 years
Right.
before we got married, and we headed over here.
So you first got married in the U.S., not
We did,
here.
yes. We
Okay.
actually got married and nikahfied, as we say. So we had our nikah done in New York, and we got a legal marriage in New York.
Okay.
Then we got married in my hometown of St. Louis,
Oh,
and
wow.
then we got married here in Islamabad.
Oh my God. So, I mean, that's a huge change. What convinced you to kind of uproot your entire life in the U.S. and move to Pakistan?
It is a very big change. I think some of it was me being naive.
Uh-huh, okay.
I think neither Hassan nor I really knew what we were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
But the change has been good for the both of us.
Okay.
And obviously we were married. Hassan got an internship, not an internship. Hassan got a fellowship
Okay.
to be working in Lahore.
Oh,
So
I
that's
see.
where we started off,
Mhm.
and that lasted a year before we
Yeah.
moved to Islamabad, and
Yeah,
You
and
know?
since then you're here.
yeah, the rest is history.
But you have a pretty interesting story. I mean, what were you doing in the U.S. before you came
So
here?
before I was here, I was a zookeeper at
Yeah?
the St. Louis Zoo. Yeah, for
incredible.
5 years, and it was amazing.
How did you end up becoming a zookeeper?
I am lucky.
Yeah, that sounds like every little girl or boy's dream job.
Absolutely, you have no idea. I had always loved animals. Both my parents are very into science, so
Okay.
I grew up loving nature, loving outside, and I was just drawn to animals. I studied biology in
Okay,
college,
that makes sense.
and like I said, I just lucked out and was able to get a job at the St. Louis Zoo, which is my hometown where I grew up. It's one of the best zoos in the country.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just consider myself very lucky.
Was it a big zoo? Like, were there a lot of different animals there?
So the zoo is on currently 90 acres, and it's home to approximately like 16,000 animals,
Oh, wow.
individual animals, and around 600 species.
Oh my gosh,
So it's
that's
quite a
huge.
large zoo.
Yeah.
It is accredited, so it's got all the kind of rules and regulations down pat,
Yeah.
and it's just great. I really love the zoo.
Yeah. And so then when you came here, did you like actively start looking for some kind of a job to do with animals or something
Absolutely,
like that?
I did. When we were living in Lahore, I interned with WWF.
Okay, yeah.
So I did that for at least 6 months. And after moving to Islamabad, I am doing a research project on wildlife conservation at ComStats University.
All right.
And I am also volunteering at the Islamabad Zoo.
Which is not this zoo, but
But
yeah.
I think most people are probably familiar with the zoo.
Yeah.
If they've been to Islamabad. And you know, it can use some improvements, and that's what I'm hoping to accomplish.
How did you, like, did somebody contact you, or you yourself like got in touch with them that you wanted to help out?
I was doing a presentation with SDPI on the importance of zoos, and there happened to be someone in the audience who knew someone who was associated with the case that has been brought in the High Court against the Islamabad Zoo and the care they're taking of the animals. So honestly, it was one of those serendipitous stories where Islamabad is a small city and someone knew someone who then knew me, and here we are.
Okay. And there was already like a group of Pakistanis trying to make changes.
Actually, it all formed right at that time.
Oh, is it?
So I was there when we started the group, and our focus is on the Islamabad Zoo specifically.
Right.
We're known as the Friends of Islamabad Zoo.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, our goal is basically to make improvements to the zoo, to make it better for the animals specifically.
And what are the main things that need to be changed there?
So the biggest change that would have the best impact is change of mindsets.
Okay.
So of the people, and having a better understanding of what animals do, what they need, what they want, what their behaviors mean.
Okay.
And that is just something that is completely lacking in most places with animals that I've encountered, at least.
Yeah.
And when that change happens, that is the only time that zoos can be successful. Yeah. Without an understanding of animals, a zoo will always fail, at least for the animals.
Is that something that's like, it's not possible to study subjects like this in Pakistan, or it's just like a general lack of awareness?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think the general public, there's a lack of awareness. But also in terms of study, it's not a well-developed field.
Yeah.
So there's so many opportunities for research to be done in wildlife, for people to get a better understanding of animals through observation. So it is possible, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple years with more interest, and it'll pick up.
What is this here?
This is a rhea.
Okay.
So it's very closely related to ostriches, emus.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see that.
Definitely, especially the emu. It looks very similar. I will be honest, I had to take a little peek earlier at the name of what it was. I would have guessed emu, but it says rheas.
Okay. And where are they like originally from?
You know, I am not positive, but I believe they are like in the New Zealand area.
Okay.
South America, it looks.
Okay.
Thank goodness for signs. And that's why you always want to read things.
Yeah. Okay. But do you think like there is a need for zoos in Pakistan? Because, you know, there's this whole debate, like some people say that wild animals should not be kept in captivity and so on and so forth. But is there a need for zoos?
I think it really depends. I think the fact that there is debate is very promising.
Okay.
Because to me, that says that people are understanding that there are issues with zoos.
Yeah.
And they need to be addressed, absolutely. However, when zoos are done correctly, when they can be a place of sanctuary for animals, when animals can experience natural habitats and get enough stimulation.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when zoos can then fight for conservation of those species, when they can educate the public, when they can contribute to medical advances in animals and in wildlife, that's when a zoo is successful, and that's when and why we need zoos.
You know, like there's like the snow leopard in Pakistan.
Yes.
Can you find them in zoos in Pakistan? Is that something that should be happening even, or are they better off in their natural habitat?
I think they are definitely better off in their natural habitat.
Yeah.
Snow leopards are so highly specifically adapted to the environment in which they live. To bring them out of that environment and put them into an environment that is, the temperature's not right, the terrain's not right. It's very difficult to get that right in a zoo, especially here, you know, in Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly.
The conditions
That's very hot here.
So Yeah, I don't think snow leopards should be in zoos in Pakistan.
All right. And so if we talk about the Islamabad Zoo, the one that is close to the Margilla Hills, what animals do they have there?
We have, so
what is this?
This was really exciting when I saw this here, because this is a puma or a cougar or mountain lion or a Florida panther. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
And these guys are native to America.
Exactly.
So I am very
warm,
excited to
actually.
see this. I wish she had a little greenery here, or she, I'm not sure. But the amount of space is very adequate.
And she or he seems to be doing relatively okay.
Exactly. And a lot of times animals, if you understand their behavior, and that's part of key to having a zoo that works and operates well, is when management and staff understand these things.
Right.
Animals tell you what's going on with them.
Yeah.
If you understand behaviors, they're not so dissimilar from you and me.
Exactly.
So animals need water, need food, need shelter, but they also need fun things, just like you and I need fun things.
Exactly.
So when people start to think of animals as more than animals, again, that's when zoos will succeed.
Right.
So listening to her behavior, her or him,
We don't know.
or his.
Yeah.
So she is just kind of doing like going around her territory. This is normal behavior.
Yeah.
At other zoos with other animals, you might see like a pacing behavior where, say, an animal just goes around in circles over and over and over again. That is obviously not a natural behavior.
Yeah.
And people need to pick up, like, their animal is not being cute.
Exactly.
It's, it needs stimulation.
right. And you're working on this kind of a thing at the zoo.
Exactly
right?
what I'm doing at the Islamabad Zoo.
Yeah.
So a way to increase stimulation in captive animals at zoos is through what's called enrichment. And those are things, items, or even weather occurrences that are just new to the animal.
Okay.
It's something new for them to experience, to stimulate them. It can be a smell, it can be something to play with, it can be rain.
Yeah. Wow.
So enrichment's really easy to do, and it's something that, like I said, we're trying to implement at the Islamabad Zoo.
Yeah. And do you think, can you already see some changes there after you've started working with them?
The changes have kind of been more because of us and the group that I'm working with. The zoo is cooperating.
Yeah.
So that's, a positive, that they allow us to give our ideas. They will help us bring the enrichments into enclosures. And what I really like, what I would really like, is to get the visitors involved.
Yeah.
Because that way, then you can add that education that zoos really need to have.
And what kind of visitors have you seen there? Is it mostly like families with kids, or do you see school groups?
They're on the weekends, which is every Saturday we do enrichment activities.
Okay.
And there are mostly schools on Saturday, which I was a little surprised that Saturday they come.
Yeah.
But lots of buses of school-age children, which is ideal. It's that is the target audience. Because those minds, they just soak it all up. They want to know about animals.
Yeah.
They want to see animals interact. You see people like banging on cages to get the animal's attention. Enrichment, when it's gives that animal an opportunity to display natural behaviors. So the animal is active.
Yeah.
People don't have to bang on the cage to get him to do something. He's already doing something. And that's what people want to see.
And so I was about to ask you, what animals do they have there currently?
They have lots of animals, I'd say. I'd say the amount of animals is good. I don't want any more. That's something that I've seen come up in the news quite often, is the zoo needs more animals.
Right.
It doesn't. It does not need more animals. It needs to take care of the animals it has.
Yeah.
So some of the big ticket items are, there's an elephant. His name's Kavan.
Okay.
And he's been there for a while. Elephants in general are very difficult to care for in captivity. And so he needs a lot of attention, and he is a focus. He gets enrichment every week.
Okay.
And there are Himalayan brown bears, which are native to Pakistan.
Okay.
They are found in Deosai National Park, and they are endangered.
Yeah.
So they are a cool animal to have at the Islamabad Zoo.
That's good.
Also, an animal that we focus on because they need lots of kind of stimulation.
Yeah.
There are wolves, a whole sort of ungulates, so different kind of hooved animals.
Yeah.
Lots of native species. There's a steppe eagle and monkeys.
Okay, lots of monkeys.
Monkeys and ducks and peacocks and pheasants. So it runs the gambit. There's some of everything.
All right, it's starting to get a little bit dark. Should we go find somewhere to have some chai maybe?
Absolutely. You can't say no to chai. Not in Pakistan, at least.
Okay, let's do that. Time to take a short break. I'll see you when we come back. Welcome back. I'm here at Callisto with Katie, and we've just ordered some chai.
Hey.
So before you moved to Pakistan, what did your husband tell you about the country exactly?
Well, we'd had a lot of time to get to know each other and get to know about each other's families and countries. So Hassan got to spend some time in America, the 4 years of our college, and he also got his master's from Yale.
Wow.
And so he was there for another 2 years.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember exactly what I was aware of before I got here.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say that he gave me a pretty good rundown of what to expect.
Yeah. Was there anything that surprised you when you came here? Something that you didn't expect?
I think I was lucky enough to be raised by a pretty open family. And I have always been one to take things as they come.
Yeah.
I try not to have too many expectations of what's to come because, it kind of sets you up for disappointment.
Yeah, exactly.
It can. But I've not experienced anything that was like, what the what?
Yeah.
Here in Pakistan. There are some things that are, that's Pakistan.
Yeah.
So like traffic, for example,
course,
like kind of crazy weaving in and out of cars. Yeah. I've definitely gotten used to that though. I drive here in Islamabad.
Okay.
Don't think I could do Lahore.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to the craziness of driving, and I think that'll be one of the things that I miss when I go back to the States. Yeah.
Oh, so you're planning on going back at some point?
At some point,
Yeah. All right. So when you first came here, you said you moved to Lahore.
That's right.
That's where your husband is from, is that right?
He was born in Lahore, yes, and he lived there for the first several years of his life until his dad joined the Foreign Office.
All right.
So Hassan was about 11 at that point, and so ever since he was 11, he's been moving all around the world.
Yeah.
And so that's been great for him, lots of experiences, whereas I have literally lived in the same house my entire life.
Really? Yeah.
Aside from college. So moving to Pakistan, from that kind of perspective, it was a shock.
I'm sure. Was that your first time in Asia?
Actually, I had been to Vietnam previously. I had a friend in college who we were able to do this program that Westminster had, where we kind of exchanged. I went to her place, she went to my place, and so that was about 2 weeks in Vietnam, and I also had 2 weeks in Pakistan in 2013 before I moved here, before we got married. It was kind of my introduction to his family.
Right.
So that was another thing that helped things not be too surprising
I'm sure.
when I actually moved here, as I got a preview.
Yeah. And then you've also traveled to some countries and...
That's right. Yeah, I've been kind of all over. I've been to Costa Rica a couple times and Iceland. Hassan and I actually got to go on a school trip together in college to Iceland, and it was incredible. Just every opportunity anyone has to travel, do it.
Yeah.
I think travel is one of the most important things someone can do. Obviously, it's not something everyone can afford to do, or have the opportunity or time, but it really impacts how you view the world.
Absolutely. And especially, like, I think at that time when you first met your husband, you said that was 2006.
That's right, yeah.
So that's with the whole war on terror was going on, and there must have been a lot of negative stereotypes of Pakistan. And like, I'm just wondering, what did your family say when you first of all introduced your husband, and then when you were like, okay, I'm moving to Pakistan?
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
So my family's known about Hassan since the very beginning, and they've been super supportive. They love him. They've always loved Hassan. He's always been part of the family. That being said, I think it was a shock for my family to hear me say, all right, I'll see you guys in a year. Yeah. Because that was the plan.
Okay.
To live in Pakistan for 1 year while Hassan was doing fellowship.
And now it's turned into 3.
And now it's been, 3. And it's been difficult, but I'm glad that I've had the opportunity. I think that living in other countries, especially here in Pakistan, is an opportunity to grow. I have grown more as a person here than I think I ever would have had I stayed in St. Louis.
In what sense would you say?
So, Pakistan, at least for me, has presented hurdles.
Yeah.
In terms of getting used to how to live everyday life, how to work in a completely new system. And it has basically forced me into figuring out who I am and how I want to portray myself and what I really want to do with my life.
Wow.
So it's been a blessing, honestly.
Yeah. And so you realized then that you really want to keep working with animal-related issues, because when you came to Islamabad, then you started working as a researcher at a local
That's right.
university.
Yeah, I always knew I definitely wanted to stick with animals in some fashion.
Yeah.
And ComStats seemed to offer the best opportunity for me in that I had access to a lab. I had access to research materials, to lab materials. All I needed was a project.
Yeah.
So Hassan helped in that way as well. A colleague of his from Yale has an NGO that's up north in Baltistan, called the Baltistan Wildlife Conservation and Development Organization, BWCDO.
Okay.
And they do work with snow leopards.
Wow.
And so I was like, bingo, that is my research. So I'm doing a snow leopard population study, and it's just been fascinating. I have really enjoyed all my time here, and like I said, it's made me who I am today.
Okay, so there are countries like Nepal and I don't know where else where people actually go on these wildlife safaris to see tigers. So maybe that's not exactly something that's going to happen in Pakistan with snow leopards if they're really that difficult to find.
Yeah, it would be very unlikely to see a snow leopard in the wild. It does happen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there are other animals that are much more likely to be seen. So there are already kind of ecotourism opportunities up north. BWCDO has one itself that it's associated with. It's called Full Moon Night Trekking.
Oh, wow, that sounds nice.
So yeah, the animals it kind of highlights are the ibex, Himalayan ibex, chakur, which is a kind of bird, or markhor are also very difficult to kind of come across, but the thing with animals is you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. And I think that if more opportunities like that existed, people would come. Obviously, it's the north, so it's a little more difficult for foreigners to kind of get access to those areas.
Exactly.
But it's worth it. It's so worth it.
So first time when you came here, that was actually 2013 then. And the security situation must have been a little bit different back then. Where did you go? Did you come to Islamabad or Lahore?
We spent most of our time here in Islamabad on that trip. We did visit Lahore. And security didn't seem to be much of an issue. Yeah. It was something that, you know, comes up when you tell someone, oh, I'm going to Pakistan.
Exactly.
They're like, whoa, be
yeah.
careful. Even though, exactly. Yeah. There are there's always been negative news stories. Exactly. And that's part of what Hassan was able to tell me before I came here is, you know, I would relay a story that I saw in the news and he would explain what's actually happening. So I know there was a time where containers were being set up.
Yeah, probably.
And I can't remember exactly what it was being set up for.
Yeah.
It was before I had moved here. And so I was hearing it on the news as someone who had no idea.
Yeah.
And it was intimidating when you hear it on the news, the way it's presented. Sure. But then once I got here and containers are like an every other day thing, it's like, oh, whatever. That really was nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah.
So I am trying to be more forthcoming with my friends about, you know, there's nothing to worry about here.
Was there someone who was like actually trying to convince you not to come here? Like someone who was so afraid, like a friend or a relative or something like that?
No, I have not had anyone tell me, don't come.
Yeah. Wasn't that bad?
Yeah, even my family was very supportive, you know. It was more about me being away from home for so long than it was about being in Pakistan. Yeah. So.
And then, you know, I'm sure your parents must have had a lot of questions about Pakistan as well. Were you then the one like explaining everything, or was it your husband?
It was mostly me. Honestly, Hassan and I had more of a long distance relationship for the majority of our relationship.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I would be the one relaying all the information to my family, and yeah, it worked out well. My family is very open, I think I've said. And so explaining these things to them wasn't difficult. They were basically learning things as I learned them.
Yeah.
I tell them everything.
Well, that's really cool. And so I also wanted to ask you, because you first moved to Lahore. I mean, that can be pretty overwhelming for somebody who's never been to Pakistan, as opposed to Islamabad, which is in a way more Western.
Right, it is, yeah. They are very different cities, and I am more of an Islamabad kind of girl.
Yeah.
I think some of it is St. Louis, where my hometown is actually very much like Islamabad in size and everything.
Yeah.
So I fit right in. I kind of understand the way things go. Whereas Lahore really is very busy. Lots of people, lots of cars, lots of traffic. And we decided jointly that Lahore wasn't for us.
Right.
and we've been in Islamabad and been happy since. So not that Lahore is not a great city, it's just more of for a fast-paced person.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely a slow-paced person.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a Lahore person than Islamabad. I tend to get very bored here at times. So
You would like it. Yeah. You would like Lahore.
All right. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get a little hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to go get something to eat upstairs?
Yes, definitely.
Let's do it. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a minute. welcome back. I'm here at Callisto with Katie, and we're about to order some Pakistani food. Okay. So, I think...
It is also Egyptian, Roman and Egyptian.
Ah.
Look at that.
All right. Hello. So, are you okay with barbecue?
I love barbecue. Let's do it.
Perfect. So, barbecue platter, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you a fan of Pakistani food?
It depends on the food. My main thing is the spices.
Right. You're not that used to it.
Yeah, I'm really not. I've never been big into very spicy food, not even when it comes to like Mexican.
Really? Yeah, because that's quite popular in the States.
My older brother loves it. He actually spent some time in Honduras in the Peace Corps.
Oh, okay,
and
wow.
So he can handle the spices.
Yeah.
Not so much myself. That being said, I do still really enjoy most Pakistani cuisine. Some of my favorite dishes are halim. I really like halim.
Yeah, that's not so spicy.
And that was actually one of the very first meals I had when we first moved here. Was halim, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And I've liked it ever since.
Wow.
That and then kabli pulao is nice. It's not spicy.
Exactly.
And so yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different dishes to try. That's
Exactly,
cool.
and I will try most anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about brain though.
Brain masala. Yeah, that's not a personal favorite either.
But other than those things, I enjoy going out for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
So going to like Melody for some.
Really? Yeah. So you like the traditional anda paratha breakfast?
You know, I can deal with that. My favorite is halwa puri.
Okay. Yeah, that's really delicious.
And
as well.
honestly, the eggs. Before moving to Pakistan, I was not a big egg eater.
Okay.
And now I could have an egg every day. So
yeah, I think most Pakistanis do.
I think so too. Yeah, it's a tradition.
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's it. And most of the time, then you tend to eat Western food here. Is that right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So when I was living with the family, with Hassan's family, we would eat at home every day, and it would be Pakistani cuisine usually. They would just tone down the spices for me.
Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. Yeah, I mean, that's another topic I wanted to discuss with you because, like, okay, you first, like, got legally married in the States, but then when you came here, you also had a little Pakistani wedding in Lahore, right?
We did, yeah. It took place here in Islamabad at the Marriott.
Right.
And we had 2 days. We had a Mendi function and a walima.
Okay.
Because obviously the barat doesn't really make much sense when you'd be traveling to America just to get me. I don't think so. I'm not that worth it, you know?
Yeah.
But it was good times. My mom was able to come.
Oh, that's amazing.
So no one else could manage the time off work or anything.
It's far from the States.
But yeah, I'm so glad my mom got to experience it. And
how did she like it?
she really enjoyed it.
Wow.
She was blown away by the colorfulness of it and the thank you. And she got to wear Pakistani garb as well.
Oh, wow.
So she got 2 new outfits out of it.
Amazing.
And,
what did you wear?
I wore the traditional stuff. I tried to be as true to Pakistani culture as possible.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I have some of the most amazing sisters-in-law. One in particular did everything pretty much. She planned the whole wedding.
Wow.
And so
I mean, that's a huge job to do. Actually, it takes forever.
It does. I can't imagine
So
what
much.
she went through. It was. I owe her.
Yeah.
I owe her a lot.
Okay, this looks really delicious.
It sure does. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of weddings, food is definitely one of the highlights.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and so, wow, and then your mom got to see the whole traditional dances and everything.
Yes.
That must have been so amazing.
Yeah, she had so much fun. I hope that someday she gets to come back and we can do the touristy stuff around
Because
Islamabad.
obviously you didn't have time for that.
Exactly, it was all wedding stuff. But she got Mendi done as well.
Oh,
we
wow.
both got Mendi. So she was so excited to go home and show everyone, like, look, I got Mendi.
So cute. And did your mom like enjoy the experience of coming to Pakistan and all of that? She wasn't
She did.
like
Yeah,
too scared?
no, she was. It was really exciting because we got to come on the same flight.
Yeah.
So we just, talked. If we weren't sleeping, we were talking.
Yeah.
So it was really a lot of fun. We got to spend about like 10 days, just me and her.
Yeah.
Because basically Hassan's family was busy with the wedding.
Of course.
We just had to show up.
Yeah. That's nice. But yeah, so after your wedding, you must have gotten to go to a lot of other weddings as well.
I've been to my fair share of weddings for sure.
That's like part of, especially like now that it's winter and wedding season, it's like almost every weekend there's a wedding to attend, right?
The first year I was packed with weddings.
Yeah.
The last couple have been pretty slow for me. I'll be honest,
so
especially this year.
All the relatives are married now.
Yeah, pretty much. We went through that wave.
Yeah.
And now we just sit back and wait for the next one.
Is there like a favorite thing about Pakistani weddings for you? Like, is it the dancing or the clothes, or is there anything that you really enjoy?
My favorite part is the food. Obviously. I mean,
that's so interesting because you said you're not like a big fan.
No, I'm not. But I think when you're getting something kind of for free, right? and it's usually because food in Pakistani weddings is such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's almost always delicious.
That's true.
And they usually don't go overboard on the spices either.
Yeah,
So
because
Pakistani weddings they're usually pretty safe for me to eat food. A lot of the times it's biryani,
Yeah, biryani. I love biryani.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with biryani.
Yeah. That's funny. Like, I would say my favorite part of Pakistani weddings is the dances at Mendi's. Love it. It's so amazing.
I do enjoy that. I've only been to a few where there have been like real dances.
Okay.
One of them was mine, which I missed out a lot on the dancing because I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
But there was another one, a cousin of ours, and wow, the choreography was just like the whole time you're just, wow,
Like
I want to do that.
Movie. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. Yeah, so much fun, and it's so different from like Western weddings.
Yeah,
like,
very.
Like all the different events and like, because it's not just the 3 days like the Mehendi, Barat and Walima. There's all these Sangeet nights, Dholki, Mayun. So many events to attend. Amazing.
They're never ending.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, then you basically moved in with your in-laws.
Not immediately, but
Okay.
yeah, we did eventually, we moved in with our in-laws. When we were in Lahore, it was just Hassan and me.
Okay.
And moving back to Islamabad, his family was back. They were in Sri Lanka. His dad is in the Foreign Office.
Okay, yeah.
So once they moved back to Islamabad, it was a big old happy family. We lived on Indu's campus. That's where his dad was stationed.
Okay.
And it was fun. You know, when people hear that you're living in a joint family, it's like, oh my gosh, what's it like?
Yeah.
It is a different experience for sure, but Hassan's family is very considerate of me, and they don't ask too much of me. They understand that I'm not,
I'm not
grow
Pakistani.
up
Expecting
exactly.
this. Yeah, exactly.
So it's something I kind of grew into, and we took it as if it was more of an apartment living situation, and that everyone pulled their own weight.
Yeah.
You know, so there were nights I cooked, there were nights I did the dishes, there were nights Hassan helped with the dishes, his sisters cooked or they did the dishes, and so it was split pretty nicely.
Do you cook Pakistani food now?
Occasionally.
Oh wow.
Occasionally.
What's your specialty?
Dal chawal.
Wow.
I got that one down.
Nice.
But I've made chicken karai, biryani.
Yeah.
You know, I make kheer. That's one of my favorite things because, I mean, not only is it relatively easy to make, it's delicious.
And are you a fan of Pakistani sweets, like desserts?
Absolutely. I am a fan of desserts in general.
Okay.
Like anything sweet. So, to be honest, there were a few things I had to get used to in Pakistani desserts. So
that's another thing, you have to eat a lot when you're getting married.
Yes, the mithai, they feed it to you. We did that. And so that was kind of my first experience with the mithai. We did that, and we did the mendi thing on the leaf. That. I mean, we did the whole shebang. We didn't do the shoe thing because there was no one on my side.
Where somebody steals the shoes and then you have to give money to get them back. Yeah, exactly.
It would be, my mom would be the only one stealing the shoe.
Right.
So that didn't really work out too well, but we hit the other highlights. Yeah.
Is there anything that's similar about Pakistani and American culture, or is it all completely different? Yeah. Thank you.
You know, I would say that that there are definitely similarities and definitely differences. I think most situations, or most anything, problems included, good things, bad things, you can find the same in America.
Yeah.
Just a little different. So same, but different.
Yeah.
I don't have any good examples off the top of my head. I guess kind of when it comes to like politics, you know, a lot of people complain about politics and, you know, oh, this government and that government.
It's essentially the same.
Essentially the same. You know, government issues are government issues. You know, every country deals with them.
And nobody's ever happy with their government anyway.
Exactly.
In any country.
I try to emphasize that. Like, say if I'm taking a Kareem or something, they, you know, it's like, oh, you're from America and this and that. Like, oh, we love America. And I'm like, I love it too, but
you had a good experience. Like, people are quite welcoming because, like,
definitely
there's been a lot of anti-Americanism in Pakistan, but when they find out you're from you're from the U.S., they don't react negatively.
No, I have not had one single negative interaction because of my nationality.
That's amazing.
It hasn't. I mean, if anything, people are like, oh, I love America.
Right, and that's something like I feel that Pakistanis are very good at separating politics from people.
Yeah, which is important. I wish more people were good at that.
Yeah, because that you don't find everywhere, actually, I would say.
Yeah, and it's really great. But what I do try to do when someone is like, oh, we love America, it's so great, I want to say, well, Pakistan's not that bad either.
Yeah.
You know, the same things that you might find annoying in Pakistan, I have a similar story that's happened to me in America. I'm sure of it.
Exactly. Every country has its issues.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And so now we've talked about Lahore, Islamabad, and a little bit of Baltistan, but where else have you gotten to travel in Pakistan?
So the only place other than that which I've traveled is Karachi. Okay. And I literally just got back. Well, not literally. I got back on Monday.
Okay.
And that was my first time in Karachi. You know, I've been here 3+ years. And when I first got here, I wanted to go really badly.
Yeah.
And then
because it's the biggest city.
Yeah, you know, it's like I want to hit it.
Yeah.
And then I I started hearing, like, oh, it's so big. It's like Lahore, but bigger. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I am so glad that I went. Yeah. I really enjoyed myself.
Wow.
We have family there, so I got to spend time with family. We went for a friend's wedding.
Oh, another wedding.
The one wedding I've been to this season.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed my time in Karachi. I would go back in a heartbeat.
What was so nice about the city? Like, was it somehow something else that you expected?
I think some of it was that I had not the highest expectations on my way in. So once I got there, and it was like, just like any other city, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is great, and then your family's there, the beach is there. My goodness, the sunsets are beautiful.
Oh, wow.
They're just amazing. Every sunset I saw in Karachi was like, I'd take a picture.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it was just great. And as far as anywhere else, that's kind of it. When we would travel from Lahore to Islamabad, we would drive. So I kind of saw the scenes there. So we saw the salt mines and there are temples along the way that we saw as well.
Yeah, the Hindu temples, Qatar.
Yes. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Cool. And is there anywhere that you're still planning to go that you're really hoping to see?
I would like to see the Choistan Desert.
Ooh, nice.
I've heard very good things about it, that it's such a unique landscape. I would love to experience it. Other than that, I'd love to go up north again and explore more of the north.
Yeah.
So we were based in Skardu, and so we just kind of went around that area. So maybe, take a trip up to Hunza or something else. I would love to go to the north again.
Yeah, I hope you get the chance
to
go.
I hope so too.
Okay, it's time for our rapid fire round.
All right,
Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, shalwar kameez or jeans?
Jeans.
Lahore or Karachi?
Karachi.
Costa Rica or Pakistan?
Costa Rica. I'm sorry, I love Costa Rica. I would go there in a heartbeat.
Sure. The first thought that comes to your mind when I say Qawwali music?
Drums? I don't know.
Tabla drums, all right.
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, but yeah.
Not far off.
Wildlife in Pakistan?
Snow leopard.
Cool.
Conservation.
Gajar ka halwa?
Oh my God, delicious.
Skardu.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Pakistani weddings.
Fun. Colorful.
Street food in Pakistan.
I love it. I love street food. Street food's the best.
The Himalayas.
Wow. What a history there. I love it.
Your favorite word in Urdu?
Chalo.
Great. The best thing about Pakistan?
My husband.
Yay. All right. Okay, so now it is time for you to sign our visitor's book.
Gladly.
Pakistan is worth the trip. Nothing to worry about. Come and visit. You won't regret it.
True.
That's very true. All right. Thank you so much, Katie.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Maija.
I had an amazing
fantastic. Day. So much fun.
Yeah, and I learned so much about zoos and wildlife in Pakistan.
Good. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
And I hope you continue to enjoy your Pakistan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it for today. Please join me again next week. And don't forget to follow us on our social media handles at indus.news. Goodbye.